because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning, everybody. It is 7 a.m. on Friday, November 17th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 69. Coming up on OTB, Big Fave, Marlon Favorite joins the show at 8 a.m., and we put together our weekly Pontoon parlay. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 1 of Off the Bench, live from Rouses, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert. Yeah! Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome in OTB, and I am at my home away from home, Jake. The Rouses off of Burbank and Lee, a place where I've spent 2 hours every week for nearly 4 years now. Yeah. Every Friday, me and my boy Big John chilling. I'll be out here again this afternoon, 3 to 5. But over the next 3 hours...
Not giving me a gift card?
No. Again, that's unethical and wrong, and it should go to people that I'm not rigging the system for. But, yes, that's true. I do not give you the gift card. But it's, bro, if you've never been in here, it's one of my favorite Rouses. Like every other one, the selection of, like, food, drinks, whatever, the deals they get going on. You know what I'm picking up today? You know how Chef keeps talking about brining your turkeys? Yeah. They have an entire $20 brine kit. So you get your big multi-gallon bucket, you get your bags, you get your brine mix, you get everything all in one go. They got great turkey deals. I mean, right now it's like you buy a spiral ham, and I want to say you get up to like 16 pounds of turkey free. I'll get you the exact deals. The point is, it's a lot of great deals. And it's kind of funny. I'm looking at the shot online, Jake, and it doesn't actually do honor to how incredible this setup is right now. We got 2 massive flat screen TVs with sports on, the lights. It just feels great in here. And so if you need to get ready for the weekend, you want to get around this. But we are doing the Huddle for Hunger drive. And honestly, you can buy these bags anytime you come into Rouses, but we want to push them hard now. And what it is, it benefits the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. They have these brown paper bags. They're $10. A lot of times when I'm checking out, I'll just throw one in on my bill. It's $10. You don't worry about it. You don't do anything. You just buy food for those in need. They take care of all of it. It's the Tackle Hunger food drive. But
look, we're offensive players, okay?
Yeah.
We don't do a lot of tackling.
Yeah, no, we huddle.
So,
we huddle. We're going to call it, we're going to Tackle Hunger. But
our block.
But the point is, it's actually the easiest. Again, today we really want to hammer it, but anytime you come into Rouses, if you're feeling a little generous, holiday spirit got you, just throw in a little $10 extra, man, and you go to help those in need. You do something good, you feel good about yourself. It's awesome. It's awesome. What else is awesome is being out here today, Friday, Football Friday, rolling right along. We got a lot to get to. Maybe not so awesome is some of the Pete Carmichael talk that we're going to go engage in this first segment because, well, it's one
Buckle
thing.
your seatbelt if you're still in the car.
Yeah, look, it's and if you're actually if you're still in the car, Jake, you're kind of getting a bit lucky here because you're not necessarily going to see the visual aids that we are going to reference. And why I mention this is because it's one thing to know how bad a situation is through talking about it and thinking about it, even watching it. And like, we know the Saints' offensive play calling has been bad, right? Like, Nick Underhill's written about how they do less motion than anybody in the league, less play action than anybody in the league. But when that exists independently of context, you're like, oh, that sucks. That's so annoying. But you don't actually know how bad it is. And so there's this dude online, Patent Analytics, who ranks play callers. And he comes up with all sorts of ways to rank play callers. And my God, Pete Carmichael is not just – okay, I'll say it like this. He's not just bad. He's not just very bad. He's not just putrid. He's not just awful. He's not even LSU defense bad. He is by multiple orders of magnitude the worst offensive play caller in the entirety of the NFL, and it's not even close. In fact, in a sign of just a rivalry that throughout its entire history has been filled with just ineptitude and complete crap, the only play caller that even sniffs Pete Carmichael's jock is Arthur Smith.
Yeah.
So, like, Arthur Smith and Pete Carmichael are by far the two worst play callers in the NFL. And so there's a bar graph, and Taylor, put it on the screen here. The first one, the ranking offensive play callers after Week 10. And basically, Patton says, you know, it's all Mike McDaniel's world, and we are just living it. And all you need to understand with the bar graph, it just measures offensive efficiency or whatever, right? And Mike McDaniel is, as bad as Pete Carmichael is, Mike McDaniel is that good.
Right.
Like, he is lapping the field, basically, when it comes to how high he is on the bar graph. Look at who's second on this list. Kyle Shanahan.
The names we always throw out there, yeah.
Who's third? Todd Monken. Why do you think Georgia finally won those national championships? They had Todd Monken. Kellen Moore.
Yeah, take
fourth.
that, Taylor.
Who do we got? This is a bit surprising. Ken Dorsey, fifth in the list, and they just fired that man.
Just fired
and
him.
you can't fire Pete Carmichael? Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Andy Reid, sixth. Brian Johnson, seventh. That's the Eagles OC. And then, of course, Kevin O'Connell at eighth. I'm not going to go down the whole list, even though actually Ben Johnson, Detroit Bears mentioned as well.
Yeah.
But Kevin O'Connell, a lot of people said, you know, if you switched the coaching staffs last week, well, the game would have been different. Probably would have. So that's all people scoring on the those are the top 10 guys.
Yeah.
And they all score on the positive side of this equation. In the middle, there's a flipping point. Actually, Sean McVay is the median coach, and then you start to get in the negative side of the equation. And if you look at the bottom five, it's Matt Canada, Mike Kafka, the Giants OC, Bill O'Brien for the Patriots, which apparently the Patriots actually for the last 4 years, Darren Orlovsky was tweeting today, Patriots, worst protection grades, worst average separation by receivers. It's an awful situation.
Yep.
You got the Raiders, you got the Falcons, and then you have Pete Carmichael. And again, I hope you see the chart because Pete Carmichael, we are talking him ranking literally quadruple times worse than Matt Canada, somebody that we all love to clown. So when we tell you there is talent on this team and it is being wasted, this is one of about two different charts that we're going to show you that's going to blow your mind.
T-Bob, we also probably need to point out, we're talking about offensive play callers right now, but we also have another graphic and another metric that actually confirms he is the worst play caller, offense or defense in the NFL. So literally the worst person in the NFL that calls in a ball play.
That's true. So again, he has assigned, and I didn't do a deep dive into how the numbers are mathed out here because this came across my screen relatively late. But I'll just give you kind of the scores, right? So who was the best play caller in the NFL? We said it was Mike McDaniel.
Yeah.
So on the offensive side of the ball, he has a plus 0.77 score. If you look at Pete Carmichael, he has a minus 0.92. So to give you an idea, nobody hits a full 1.0 or a full negative 1.0. Everybody falls in that range. The best on the offensive side of the ball is 0.77. Okay, so let's just call it like 77%.
Yeah.
You're negative 92%. Even Arthur Smith, who we just crapped on, negative 0.72.
Yep.
So you were talking about being 20% worse than Arthur Smith. It's just a complete. So yeah, like you said, Jake, who's the worst defensive play caller
I think
according
it's
to this
Vance
chart?
Joseph Broncos.
At 0.59.
Yeah.
Half of how bad Pete Carmichael is. It's unreal. They continue to ride
a
with this
defensive
man.
coordinator that got 70 hung on him.
70.
And he's half of what Pete Carmichael is.
And then, so the final chart that we look at, this is play caller ratings compared to easy button usage, right? So this is a combination of where did you rank on these last charts, and then how often are you helping yourself out? The easy buttons are your RPOs, play actions, motions, and screens. Well, it's a scatter dot chart, right? So the best are going to be at your scatter plot. I think it might be what it's called. I'm not a stats guy. It's major. But your best guys are going to be in your top right corner.
Yeah.
Your worst are going to be in your bottom left. Most people fall somewhere in the middle. The outliers are Mike McDaniel, who is at the peak top right of the corner. He uses the most easy button play usage and has the most success. And then in an equivalently outlier sense, nobody even sniffing the same realm as Pete Carmichael, and the way bottom left alone all by himself is Pete Carmichael, who uses less than 10%. This may maybe be like 18% to be nice to him. 18% easy button usage. Like even Arthur Smith, who's awful, uses over 60%. When you're talking about motions, RPOs, play actions, this is inexcusable. Inexcusable. And the final piece of evidence that we would pair it with, Dan Orlovsky not naming the Saints, but in my mind essentially subtweeting the Saints. The top offenses in the NFL, all of them have plenty of, 1, pre and at the snap motion, 2, personnel and formation flexibility, and 3, heavy use of play, heavy use of play action. Yet teams think they can run offenses that don't have these elements to be successful. That's on coaching 100%. Do you know how much film Dan Orlovsky watches? Do the guys of a man that played 12 years of NFL quarterback? That man knows the NFL game inside and out. He knows the current NFL offensive meta, and he is telling you how absolutely absurd it is that your New Orleans Saints are so prideful and so hubristic that they think they can go out there and put an offense on the field that runs no play action, no pre-snap motion, no personnel formation flexibility, and still just think they're going to somehow be successful. I mean, if you just fired Ken Dorsey, I'm sorry. There is no way that forget about after the season. There is no way that Pete Carmichael should survive the rest of this season.
No, I mean, because you're in a playoff run. I mean, with all those things still going on, you still atop your division. And if you're in the car, maybe you can't see some of these graphics that T-Bob has put up. The Dolphins, they're on top of Mount Everest, and you're in hell. Yep. That's probably the best way to show you where these graphics are and kind of where these two teams are. You have to be better, but we have just seen that you're not going to be better. You're not going to change. I can't tell you and can't stress enough. And look, I haven't played in the NFL in 9 years. But even at that time in the NFL, it's about shifts. It's about motions. It's about seeing what the defense is giving you. It's about giving them a different look. It's about creating a mismatch because you're on the move. Like, it is indicators. It helps your quarterback. It makes it easy for him, He has the opportunity to see if it's zone, see if it's man. You get a chance to maybe create a mismatch because of one of those shifts that you do, and you have so many players like an AK, like a Taysom Hill that could create a mismatch just by moving them around, seeing how the defense reacts. And the defense, they might not be able to get in their best play call because you're moving. You're not staying in the same place. Hell, flag football, if you're staying in the same place, I can call a defense and I can just line up and play every single time. I don't have to worry about adjustments. I don't have to worry about, hey, were you in man? Can you follow him if he goes in motion? They're lining up and basically saying, we're better than you, and you're never better than that defense right now.
At a time when every other team has already accepted that that's just simply untrue. That all the analytics we just talked about, all the numbers, all the base level statistics just point to that being untrue, and yet you have so much pride you think you're just going to be the one to be able to get it done. If it seems like maybe Derek Carr's frustrated with Pete Carmichael, I get it. I also understand now why they brought John Gruden in to consult over the summer and to see, what does Derek Carr do well? Not that Pete Carmichael listened, because what Derek Carr does well is play action. You don't do it. It's unbelievable. Pete Carmichael doesn't know what he's doing.
You can even run.
Bottom line, Pete Carmichael just does not know what he's doing.
You can still run the same route concepts with motion, but it puts pressure on the defense. Like whatever. Like instead of just running a normal drag from the outside receiver position, you can have a slot, you can have the outside receiver, you motion the outside receiver to stack behind the slot receiver, and then that puts pressure on the defense because they don't know which way you're going to break. As the back receiver in this scenario, the guy that's motioning, you can go take 2 steps out, get the guy's hips turned, and then you run your slant. I mean, it's basic.
Yeah.
It's easy concepts where you're just trying to manipulate the defense, and instead you just line up and think that you're better than them. And that is – that's what you do in high school when you're the top team in the district and you're playing the worst team in the district. That's not college football. That's not NFL. That's that to me is something you only do when you're so much better than your opponent that you almost don't even want to show anything against them. But we're in the NFL. You are not that.
Dylan Pellerin says Pete isn't getting fired in the offseason. He's DA's scapegoat. Well, let's be clear about this. And I agree with you on the offseason thing, and I think that's absurd. The Saints view themselves like the Steelers, right? They view themselves as very hesitant to make changes, and they want to give guys time to figure things out. But this is such an abject disaster. There should be no figure out. Ken Dorsey just got fired because the Bills fell to 5-5. The Bills were one of the best offenses in the league last year. For the last couple of years. He again, even on these play calling metrics, he ranks top 5 in the league. But just because they're 5-5 and Josh Allen doesn't look like Josh Allen, they fired that man. And you're going to wait and give Pete Carmichael the rest of the season? And it's so bad, Jake, that I don't even buy that it's like this idea that, well, who could you bring in to have more success? I think you could bring somebody in and you could start to employ some of these very basic concepts that would lead to more success than what you have currently. And as far as
in the NFL too, you can change so many things week to week. It's not college football.
Look at Josh
it's not
Dobbs.
high school football. Yeah, you can change.
Look at Josh Dobbs.
It's your job. You're there like a normal job, 9 to 5. NFL job, it's 5:30 a.m. to about 6 p.m. Every single day, and that's what it is. That's the job. You get Tuesdays off. You're there. You're there for those reasons. Hey, the game plan we used last week, you might not see that again until week 10. That's just the way it is. And you have so many things up, and, hey, we're going to call this motion that. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
You're a grown adult. You're a professional. You change it all the time. Someone could come in, T, and look at what the Saints play calls already are and what they call motions and shifts and whatever. Even if they didn't have them, they could add them. But they could have a game plan together in 3 days.
Yeah. And we've seen it. I mean, we've seen it multiple times here recently. So the idea of him being DA's scapegoat, so I don't love the term scapegoat because I think, like Matt House and this LSU defense, I think he's legitimately costing DA wins. Now, that still is on DA, right? Because he chose to ride with this man who is clearly deficient and who is clearly miles behind the times and miles behind the field, and so ultimately that responsibility lies with the head coach. It's just how these situations work. But to call him a scapegoat makes, let's be clear, Pete Carmichael is responsible for a lot of these losses, arguably more so than anybody else in the entire franchise. Pedro says Carmichael be a worse OC than Matt House as a DC. Both has cost their teams multiple wins. Yeah, I don't even. I mean. When I saw these charts,
I will say the
Orlovsky
difference
tweets, it is mind-boggling and how bad it is.
If you're comparing those two, obviously different levels of football, but I would say Pete Carmichael has better players.
Yes,
available
very true.
to him than Matt House does.
I think a lot of Matt House's almost yips that he seems to have is because he is so limited personnel-wise, and he's just done an awful job of trying to manage within that. But that's hard. That's much harder to do than having, and granted, you could say, oh, what about Saints offensive line? Fair, but they play better as of late, right? And you're not doing them any favor when you're not doing pre-snap motions. You're making it really on the
no play
on the
action,
defense.
slow rush down.
Yeah, no play action. Like, he's not doing a bad O-line any favors in the same way that Matt House is not doing a bad secondary any favors. And so it's an utter disaster. And the Saints got to do something about it. It is inexcusable that Pete Carmichael should continue to be allowed to call plays for this team. I mean, even the rest of this season, but whatever. You want to roll with the rest of this year, fine, do it. But if change isn't made after the season, like, Saints fans should literally think about, like, selling their season tickets out of spite, out of strike. Even though, I mean, honestly, I know that just sucks for that person at the end of the day, because they lose season tickets, they're probably going to want back later. So don't do that. But this is ridiculous. Something's got to change. Coming up next here on OTB, something that y'all are too hung up on the RPO thing. People are saying, well, to be fair, a car can't run RPOs. Car can't run. Okay, take RPOs out of it. Pre-snap motion, at the snap motion, play action.
Yeah, play action. I mean,
like everything. It's not just RPOs. That doesn't. I don't care. And actually, you do have Taysom Hill, where you could do a lot of RPO type of stuff if you really wanted to. So, These visual cues really hammer home what you knew you were seeing, but I just didn't know how to contextualize how bad it is. Shout out Pat and Analytics for putting this together. And that Dan Orlovsky tweet, like, exists independently of this. He tweeted at 1 a.m. last night. He was so stressed about what he was seeing out of this New Orleans Saints office. He tweets it at 1 a.m. All right, when we get back, it looks like a certain quarterback's returning to Ole Miss, a story that's becoming all too common when you look around the country. What does it mean for Walker Howard and for the quarterback market going forward? Keep it locked right here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Go to All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. You need to get the car of your dreams, the next vehicle for you, your family. Maybe your kids are about to drive. If it's a kid, don't get them a new car, right? They can use a Toyota certified used vehicle where they'll still get excellent warranty coverage. When you're talking about Toyotas, you're talking about vehicles that will stand the test of time. We all knew somebody in high school had a Tacoma that's been running for about 200 years, 300,000 miles. That could be you and your kid, right? At the best prices, the most knowledgeable staff. They work with you to find your needs. Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com today.
Yeah, when I was actually pulling up to Rouses today, didn't know where to park. You know what I looked for? The Murdered Out Mini. And as soon as I saw it, I parked right next to it, and I knew my man T-Bob was here. You can customize your own Murdered Out Mini or whatever you want. You can add, you can take away. Build your Toyota today at All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. Mo Daily Inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045 ESPN.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on all new 23 Ford F-150 Black Widow trucks, plus $2,750 discount APR and 5.9% for 72 months. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luber for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 9.
Join me for a Football Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, presented by Cork's Cajun Fried Fish and Shrimp. Get you ready for LSU Georgia State, reacting to the Bengals and Ravens, and we'll throw some basketball in there as well from Charleston. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back. Off the Bench here on 104.5 ESPN. We are live here at Rouses. The store is open, and Jake, we got some very cool events going on. Tackle hunger, fill the food bank. That's right, baby. We are trying to help out the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank today. You can come and just $10. You buy a pack of food. You don't have to deliver. You don't do anything. You just pay $10 a day, take care of the rest. But check this out, man. Of course, Rouse is the official supermarket of your New Orleans Saints. We just talked about the Saints. And, well, the Saints cheer crew is going to be getting here at 8 a.m. They'll be here 8 to 10. So if you want to bring the kiddos out, my daughters call them the Flip Girls. If you want to bring the kiddos out to come meet the Saints cheerleaders, they'll be out here 8 to 10 a.m. Gumbo, the mascot, is going to be here 9 to 10. If you want to go say what's up to Gumbo, come take a picture. And then we got Randall Gay coming, dude. A little 9 to 10 a.m. as well. We got to get Randall here.
Yeah, for sure.
On set and chop it up with him. So it's going to be a great day here at Rouse's. Fighting hunger, great cause. Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. Let's tackle hunger today at Rouse's. We got a lot of great events going on. Michelle Southern's going to be out here with the prize wheel. We got tickets to the Eagles, Steely Dan, hockey tickets, 98.1 swag. It's going to be 7 a.m. to noon. It's the best. So coming out here, and if you want to come say what's up to me or Jake, although you probably don't, we are here.
But you could if you wanted to.
But you could if you wanted to.
Yeah.
That is fair. You could if you wanted to. So, look, LSU is not in action this weekend, right? But they're no Sir Saint. No Sir Saint. Just Gumbo. Just Gumbo. So, look forward to that. I feel like kids like Gumbo potentially more than Sir Saint anyway. Even though I like merch with Sir Saint on it. It kind of feels okay. Last thing on Pete Carmichael, Jake. Sticking with him, and we should have hammered this harder in the offseason, but we tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. It feels a lot like Lincoln Riley and Alex Grinch. I know a lot of y'all are college football fans, and so maybe that's the sort of context which you need to frame this to. But the same way that Lincoln Riley inexplicably continued to have Alex Grinch's back, and it now cost him a season in which he had the returning Heisman champion and has really blown up kind of all the positive goodwill Lincoln Riley built. And as I mentioned yesterday, if you don't believe me, go read a single article that Bill Plaschke's written in the LA Times where every single one is just about how badly Lincoln Riley's blown it and $10 million a year and blah, 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 blah. And it's mainly because he chose to stick with Alex Grinch, who's just an abject disaster. Well, same thing right now with Pete Carmichael. And Dennis Allen better be careful because he ain't got no $10 million contract like Lincoln Riley does. And this may be what ends up costing him his second chance at a head coaching job.
Yeah, look, I am all about being loyal. I think loyal is a great trait, but you can't be loyal to a fault. That's where you start to get into trouble. And a lot of times that's where coaches get into trouble. Dabo Swinney's gotten into trouble for that, recently. Now he made a move at offensive coordinator, but it was getting, bad because how loyal he was to his assistants that he would just elevate to offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator. And we've seen it across the board, multiple levels of football. You can't be loyal to a fault. You have to understand this is holding us back. This is not moving us forward. And if I want to be here, if I want to continue to try to lead us in that forward direction, I have got to cut bait. I've got to cut ties. I have to try something new. And I don't know why, but coaches all across the board, sometimes you see them hang on to the thing that ends up getting them fired as well.
William Anthony, okay, let's switch gears. Should Brian Kelly tell Jayden Daniels to go ham and show no mercy and rack up yards or Heisman, or sit him so Nuss gets reps? You absolutely cannot sit Jayden Daniels. I believe we touched on this yesterday, but I get it. Not everybody listens to every minute of every show. But if you talk about what means more going forward for the program, there is no goal that LSU could play for at this point in the season that means more than winning a Heisman Trophy. I want to get into it in a second, Jake, but Jackson Dart is going to return to Ole Miss, right? And obviously the conversation to have there is well, what about Walker Howard? But even look at Carson Beck reportedly going to return to Georgia. Well, what about Gunnar Stockton and Brock Vandegrift, the other five-star backups that they have? Who else is returning that I'm missing? I mean, obviously Jalen Milroe is going to be back, but I don't know if I care about any of the backup Alabama quarterbacks. There's another big name. No, there's another big name out there. Beck, that just came out recently and said he was returning.
Oh, Quinn Ewers.
Thank you. Quinn Ewers. Okay, we already did the Arch Manning thing yesterday, right? So the point of this is the transfer quarterback market is going to be increasingly talent-rich every single season, because now these great starters are getting paid at a level where coming back to college is attractive to them because they are the big men on campus. They're having fun. They're dominating. They're getting paid millions of dollars. And they're like, okay, well, I can go to the NFL, but I can still go to the NFL later, and I'll still make the millions of dollars I'm already making, right? Like rookie contract scales, not like you're going to be making just oodles and oodles more than you would. And if you're good enough, like Carson Beck, maybe even make yourself into the first overall pick, and then you get oodles more. So
you can kind of look at the other people in the class now too and decide, am I going to be better going this year with these guys, or maybe next year with this group of quarterbacks too? And NIL helps you make that decision. You don't feel like you have to rush, and maybe you're like 32, or maybe you find yourself in the second round 34, 35. And you could come out, but you're like, man, if I went next year, this group of quarterbacks, I could be maybe 7, maybe 5.
Yeah, well, I mean, regardless of what you think about Caleb Williams, it does feel like a foregone conclusion that he will likely be the number 1 overall pick. His arm talent's dumb. He's got that Mahomes factor. Is he wild? Does he try to do too much Mahomes stuff in the college level? Will he have to discipline it and clean it up? Yes to all of these things. But, nobody – but so did Patrick Mahomes coming out of college, right? Now, he got put in a good situation, get to sit for a little bit and learn. I doubt Caleb Williams would get that. But the point is, if you're Carson Beck and you think you can be number 1 overall, it probably ain't going to happen this year. Definitely could happen next year. So what does that mean? That means you're going to have a robust transfer quarterback market every single year to scout. So what helps you more going forward than if you could boast 2 transfer Heisman-winning quarterbacks within 5 years of each other? 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yes, 5 years. Sometimes when you get around that zero, when you round the zero turn, it gets a little confusing if it's 4 or 5. But 5 years, 2 Heismans, both transfers. If you don't tell me that in this current age of football, that doesn't become an incredible recruiting pitch that could help you find maybe even another one of those guys, I think you're crazy. So absolutely you have to play Jayden this Saturday. And oddly enough, you kind of want to leave him in until he hits like 4 hundo and 4 tuds so he can keep up those averages and so that he can take home that award.
Yeah, because the reason that he has a chance and the reason that he's probably going to be in New York and maybe even potentially a front runner is because he is the statistical outlier, right? That's who he is. And you have to continue that because you do have the 3 losses, so you have to have all the things that we talk about. So I fully expect him because you might only have 2 more games with him. Like, we don't know about the bowl game situation and also, like, injury. You're not playing in an SEC championship game. And so I fully expect him to be in there and to get all the things that we're talking about because right now, I mean, what he's doing, touchdown passes, first in the country. Yards per attempt, first in the country. Explosive throws, first in the country. Quarterback rating, first in the country. Rushing yards per carry, first in the country. Explosive run percentage, first in the country.
Jesus.
Expected play average in total rush, first in the country. Deep ball accuracy, first in the country. Total yards, first in the country. EPA and total passing, also first in the country. So rushing and passing, EPA, number 1 in the country in both those categories. I mean, so you have to have those stats if you're going to have 3 losses. And so you don't want someone to be able to come in and make an argument because they'll try. They're trying to make an argument for a Marvin Harrison Jr. right now. He's not even in the top 6, I don't think, in yards receiving this year. But they're trying to push that narrative, make that argument. So people will try to make arguments based off your success as a team. So you have to continue to put these stats together.
Marvin ain't the one you got to worry about. You got to worry about Bo Nix and Michael
You
Penix.
do. Yes, I agree with you there, but I'm just telling you, I've had Heisman voters on, I know you have as well, on the afternoon shows, and Marvin Harrison Jr. comes out quickly.
I would be shocked.
I would too. I don't think right now he's the leader for me in the Biletnikoff.
I want to get into that next, but if they beat Michigan, he'll go to New York. I have no doubt about that. I don't think he'll win the award. But let's talk about the Biletnikoff and get to your comments next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Get Gordon and get it done. Remember, the big red bike giveaway is going on right now at Gordon McCartney Injury Attorneys. And look, this is all Gordon wanted to recreate his most special childhood memory. Everybody remembers their favorite Christmas present they've ever gotten, right? For Gordon, that was waking up and having a big red shiny bike sitting under the tree. Now, I know that things can be tight, especially around the holidays, especially in this economy. And that's why Gordon wants to give back. And this year, Jake, a record 488 bikes being given away. So follow them on social media at Get Gordon. And then what's the website to go register at once you follow them?
You can go to GordonGives.com, GordonGives.com. Like T-Bob said, go to that handle on all major social media at Get Gordon for information there. But GordonGives.com. Remember the deadlines. B.R. Hammond, December the 7th. Everywhere else in the state of Louisiana, November the 30th. GordonGives.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. $20,000 off plus no payments for 90 days on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Life in Louisiana is like a run-on sentence. A poem that doesn't rhyme. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's
Moscona inviting you to join us for a Football Friday edition of AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Phil Steele's with us previewing the biggest games of the college football weekend. The right radio hours. Join us 3 to 6, 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back, OTB. I think the Saints cheer crew's about to be here. Rouses of a Burbank and Lee. If you're out and about this morning, you're going to come holler at the boys. You want to come get some cool stuff, get ready for the weekend. You want to tackle hunger and fill up the Baton Rouge Food Bank? Well, we're doing a drive all day long here at Rouse's. We'll have Randall Gay coming on in the last hour, as well as Gumbo. So, look, I know maybe you got, like, little kids and, like, Mother's Day out or something, and they don't get to go to school on Fridays. Well, come get your grocery shopping done for the weekend. Come get ready for maybe going tailgating, watch parties, whatever the case may be. I guess not a lot of tailgating going down this weekend.
There'll still be tailgating.
Oh, there'll still be tailgating. Yeah, that's true.
You said Mother's Day out like a man that doesn't have some of his children in school on a Friday.
I know my wife.
I felt that in your
wife,
heart.
It doesn't matter for me, but my wife, the 2 littles stay home on Friday. So this is a great time. They want to come out, meet the St. Stan's crew, and, meet Gumbo. Meet Randall Blue, come celebrate at Rouse's, the official supermarket of your New Orleans Saints. All right, so we talked about Nicholls State. While JD gets a half, it'll be 12 of 17, 297, 3 touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. I mean, I could see it. That would be great. That would be like exactly. Now that's a hell of a lot of production for one half, but that would be exactly what you would need to see out of this team, out of JD5 if he's going to keep this thing rolling. So this is why, again, why Vegas has Bo Nix and Michael Penix as the betting favorites first. Jayden is hot right now. Everybody's saying it because everybody watched Florida LSU at night.
Yeah.
Ole Miss Georgia got out of hand. When people tuned in, it was probably 38-35. Jayden blew everybody's mind with how he finished that game. He settled records. Everybody saw that. What they're not going to see is LSU playing tomorrow night at 7 p.m. against Georgia State. Yeah. What they're not going to see, which sucks, is LSU A&M. And because if Jayden dominates A&M, that should be one of the biggest feathers in his cap of all year, because that A&M really defense is one of the best in the entire country. But he's but it's at 11 a.m., and you know what else is? The game. Ohio State, Michigan. So you have 2 weeks where he's not going to be that much in the public eye, and then on championship weekend, you'll likely have Oregon or Washington on a big stage with a chance to do something big. You know I love my Huskies, Jake. I kind of feel like Michael Penix has fallen off the pace anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I was a bit surprised to see that his odds are so high because statistically he has definitely taken a step back. But
he's certainly been stuck in neutral, it feels like, for a while, too.
Yeah, and unfortunately it does feel as if the Huskies are probably in trouble this weekend. If you're a Jayden fan, maybe you say fortunately, and that's fine, right? But, again, I think Oregon State is going to win this weekend, which sucks, but it is what it is. Okay, what do we think, real quick, Jake? Why should Marvin Harrison, why should he be the Biletnikoff winner right now over Malik Nabers?
There's a reason I was silent there. I don't have anything for you.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I paused and understood the question. Then once I did, since I had nothing to say, I just didn't say it because you can't make an argument right now. I really don't think you can. When you look at who Malik is and what he's been the best receiver in the country to me. And I again, every time I say this, I do want to point this out. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is an outstanding football player that's going to play football for as long as he wants to play it. But we don't give awards based off that. Well, now we kind of do because it's all about preseason narrative sometimes with the Biletnikoff, with the Thor, with the Doak Walker, all these awards. But if we're just taking a look at who these guys are, Malik right now, number 1 in the country in yards, 1,284. Number 7 in the country in receptions at 72.
And significantly more than Harrison. Harrison has 59.
Number 7 in the country in touchdowns with 10. 17.8 yards per catch. Also 128.4 yards per game, best in the country. Pro Football Focus grade, number 1 in the country at the receiver position. He's got a 93.2 grade. Receiving grade, first in the country. Overall grade, first in the country. So you can take a look at these two players, and Malik Nabers doesn't play in the Sun Belt. He doesn't play in the Conference USA. He plays in the SEC, and he also has Brian Thomas Jr., who's got incredible stats as well. So it's not just him, and he's still leading the country in all those things that I told you about. He right now, I mean, it's almost a 100-yard difference between him and Malik Washington as far as the number 2 receiver in yards, and Malik Washington has 16 more catches. Look, Marvin Harrison Jr., 59 catches. Again, Malik Nabers, 72.
Yeah.
1,063 yards for Marvin Harrison Jr., 1,284, again, for Malik. 18 yards per catch, 17.8. As I mentioned, they're right there with each other. Now, Marvin Harrison Jr. has 2 more touchdowns now, but when you look at the totality of the year, T, and I know Marvin Harrison Jr. had big moments in the Penn State game. He was probably the reason they pulled away there. I understand that. But if we're looking at how many,
he also had no moments in Notre Dame.
Notre Dame is like 3
for 30.
You look at who Malik's been to LSU this year, right? And he, like, what he did, like, in his losses, even like what he did against Alabama, what he did against Ole Miss. This right now is the best receiver in the country. I don't know why we can't have this argument and boost up Malik. And every time we do, people think we're talking bad about Marvin Harrison Jr. That's not what this conversation is about. We can respect the hell out of Marvin Harrison Jr., knowing he's a great player and going to be a great player in the NFL, and also realize that Malik has played better than him this year.
All right, look, let's do this. Let's go to break. When we get back, I want to talk about Chris Thompson. Then at 8 a.m., I want to reopen this Harrison-Malik debate because there's a lot more meat on that bone that I want to chew on. So keep it locked right here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
What do we got here, boys? What do we got here? We have centralplumbing.org. Central Plumbing, 925-8552, 925-8552. 5-2 holiday season around the corner. You probably have family coming in. The bottom line is you need all of your plumbing working correctly, especially after all that food, man. Oh, that's right. We got Big Fave at 8 a.m., and so we can talk with him about this as well, and then we can fully get into it again. But, yeah, centralplumbing.org, 925-8552. Go ahead. And remember, it's not just repairs, right, or when something goes wrong. No, it's also remodels, tankless water heater, upgrades. Like, you know what's a great Christmas present, Jake? I don't care about interior stuff. My wife does. Give her the bathroom of your dreams. And if it's flipped, right, I don't want to assume. Maybe your wife doesn't care, but you do. Treat yourself to the bathroom of your dreams with centralplumbing.org, 925-8552, centralplumbing.org.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985.
Join us for Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments from Ruffino's. Richard Dixon and I get it started at 10 a.m. for 3 big hours of college football preview. Live at lunch, 10 a.m. on Friday from 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back, OTB. Mara, hop on the mic, kid, and we play the Carissa Thompson sound right now. So I want to go ahead and dive in if you can. Play it now.
Yes. Play it.
and I've said this before, so I haven't been fired for saying it, but I'll say it again. I would make up the report sometimes because A, the coach wouldn't come out at halftime, or it was too late, and I was like, I didn't want to screw up the report, so I was like, I'm just going to make this up because, first of all, no coach is going to get mad if I say, hey, we need to stop hurting ourselves. We need to be better on third down. We need to stop turning the ball
Pressure
over.
the quarterback.
We need, yeah, exactly, and do a better job of getting off the field. Like, they're not going to correct me on that.
Right.
So I'm like, it's fine. I'll just make up the report.
It would be very funny if you were like, yeah, so I just spoke with Arthur Smith at halftime, and he said Bijan Robinson blew smoke in his face, and that's why he's not getting the ball.
And I've said this before.
So, look, that was Chris Thompson on PMT, chilling, just kind of talking about the job. And, Jake, that has caused massive waves amongst the sideline reporting community. I don't have a dog in the fight. Clearly a misstep, just based off the reaction alone. Also, I'm going to go life rule, guys. If you preface a statement with, I've said this before and haven't been fired, you recognize some of the risks. So, like,
it's double jeopardy. You can't get in trouble.
So be careful with that one, guys. That's a good red flag. But it's weird because I kind of get where she's coming from. The coach doesn't come out. What he's supposed to say? I don't have anything, but I guess so. I don't know. But, yeah, sideline reporters are furious right now. I think Carissa got herself in some hot water.
Yeah, and you and I both, we know a lot of sideline reporters, radio, TV, and they are not happy because of the job they do every single weekend.
Yeah, so we'll continue to break it down on the other side. We got Big Fave coming up at 8 a.m., and then we will get back into Biletnikoff.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Keep it locked right here on OTB. Remember, we are out here at Rouses, and remember, Rejuve helps bring you the show every single day. And look, we always want you to support local business, especially the ones that team up with us here on Off the Bench. But the thing about these businesses are, you, cui bono, who benefits? You benefit, okay? And at Rejuve Medical, there's no greater benefits than your health, than your youth, than fighting the aging process, dealing with your insecurities and fixing them. And whether it's facial aging, mood and memory problems, andropause, menopause, whatever, Rejuve understands the aging process, and they can customize a plan to fight it for you. Get your labs drawn, get that general health check, and let them customize a plan to get you where you want to be. That's Rejuve Medical. Restore me, refuel me, Rejuve me.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. $20,000 off plus no payments for 90 days on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Running Bart's marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Board's marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and 7 have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast office products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Good morning, everybody. It is 8 a.m. on Friday, November 17th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 69. Coming up on OTB, Big Fave, Marlon Favorite joins the show up next, and we put together our weekly Pontoon parlay in the third hour. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from Rouses, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back. We are out here at the Rouses off of Burbank and Lee. If you're just watching on YouTube, the shot does not do it justice. It's a beautiful morning here on Rouses, Jake. Holiday vibes are in the air, and we are tackling hunger on behalf of the Baton Rouge Food Bank. We have both $5 and $10 donation bags. You can pick up, throw them on top of your checkout, right? So you come in here. You take advantage of these incredible deals. Remember, I was telling you about this, Jake. Right now, you buy a Hormel Cure 81 half ham, just $2.99 a pound. And then, when you buy the ham, you get up to 16 pounds free on a Butterball Grade A frozen turkey. I mean, that's your thing to meal right there. They got the brine kits for just $20 as well. Everything you need to brine your turkeys, like Chef Johnson tells me. Look at it. This is the Rouse's holiday issue right here. I immediately opened it up, and I got Donnie Rouse's peanut butter glazed ham recipe. All sorts. Look, there it is right there. All sorts of excellent information in here. Marcy does a great job putting these together. Deals on top of deals. Holidays here. Fighting for a good cause. Helping out the Baton Rouge Food Bank. And as the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints, the Saints are here. The Saints cheerleaders just showed up. We got gumbo coming a bit later on. So bring the kids out, man. You got littles with you. You got to hang out with this morning. Give them something to do. Bring them out. They can meet the Saints cheer crew. They can meet gumbo. We got Randall Gay coming by. It's that beautiful day here at the Rouses off of Burbank and Lee. So make sure you get out here and treat yourself. Come get some drinks, whatever you need out here at Rouses. Look at this. UDSA Angus Choice Beef. Only $3.99 a pound. Are you kidding me? The deals are just absolutely fantastic. The list goes on and on. Okay, I like these beer deals for sure. Remember, you see the Rouse's logo on the product too. You know you're getting an excellent product at the best price. Right now, though, hello, somebody. It's time to go to our guy, Big Fave. Let's go inside the trenches here on this Friday. We do it every Friday at 8 a.m. Fave, what's happening, dog?
What's happening, baby? Hello, somebody. It's time to move our body.
That's right, baby. I'm going to need to move my body after thinking about all this delicious ham and turkey all morning long. Fave, you're no stranger to ham and turkey. are we looking forward? How pumped are we getting for next week's Thanksgiving meal?
Man, I'm dropping a little tight on right now at school. I'm going to give me a workout in, get ready for the podcast later at Small Sliders. But key word, I got to get that workout in because it's going down next week. I'm talking about fried turkey and everything. Hello.
Yep. Got to get that in. Got to get that in even for Smalls today because there's no way it is quite literally physically impossible to do a show at Smalls and not eat a ton of delicious sliders. They're incredible. Everybody go out there. They remember that in Marrero, if you're going to be out there inside the trenches, live taping, go hang with Big Fave. All right, Fave, let's get into it. LSU, massive win last week. I guess we'll start with the conversation we've been having with everybody. I think I know where your answer's going to be. But clearly, Jayden Daniels should be your Heisman frontrunner right now.
Yes, I mean, he's leading in every relevant statistical category right now, passing yards, accuracy. I mean, you name it, yards for a quarterback. Man, T-Bob, I like the stats and facts a little bit, so I was just kind of looking at Michael Penix Jr. I was looking at Bo Nix, and, I mean, the numbers aren't close. So, I mean, I'm excited for him. To me, you have a guy like Jayden, who is a team player. You could tell the players gravitate around him. They love him. If I'm a defensive lineman right now for LSU, if I'm an offensive lineman for LSU, any of those guys, I'm blocking my tail off. I'm getting sacks. We're not going to no SEC championship, no major BCS bowl game, but we got a player on that team that could win the Heisman. I'm doing everything in my power to make that happen, baby.
Well, and that's the biggest thing for the program going forward. I mean, hell, Jake, I would say – in the playoff era, winning a Heisman does more for your program than even winning a New Year's Six Bowl. And, like, pridefully, I would love to be, like, a 10-3 Fiesta Bowl champion. Like, that is a great year. But you only had 2 Heismans, okay? And we talking 50 years in between them. Closer to 60 years, I suppose, actually. 70? The math keeps going up. Either way, we will see. Fave, what do you think Jayden needs to do this weekend? It's a weird weekend, right? Nobody's going to be talking about him. Nobody's really going to be watching. But he's still got to go put up those numbers, right?
Yeah, he's still going to run up the bag because at the end of the day, look at the people who you're going against for this award, the Heisman. They had some low-end teams that they were playing. They were running up the bag. I think this is a perfect opportunity to run up the numbers. I do think it's smart. This is his last 2 games at LSU, potentially, a bowl game. I think it's smart that whole first half, maybe into the third quarter, keep running the numbers up for Jayden, rushing yards, like design run plays for him. Malik Nabers, Brian Thomas has been incredible in the receiving core. I think it's important that you don't just look at it for Jayden and his draft stock. Like, I mean, this guy after the Florida game, he's clearly a first round talent. But I mean, you look at it for recruiting too. I mean, Jayden wins the Heisman. We have 2 Heisman winners in less than 5 years.
Yep.
You know what that does for recruiting? You're gonna get the best players. Look how we got Jayden. You think Joe Burrow had nothing to do? 2 different coaches now. They had nothing to do with Jayden coming to LSU. Shoot, he like, man, the boy got the receivers over there. The Cortez Hankton is going to be my passing game coordinator. They just won a national championship with Georgia. I mean, I'm doing it. So I like what it does for the future of LSU, for sure.
Well, and forget about the high school crew. Now, I know we're all in on Bryce Underwood, and that's going to be fun. But remember, be careful falling in with high school 5-stars nowadays. The numbers show that. But, like, the transfer portal recruiting, which is going to continue to be more and more full of guys, it helps immensely there. All right, let's get in the trenches. Fave, what'd you think about what you saw out of this LSU defensive front last week? Look, they're not good. They're doing everything they can. They came up with a couple stops late, which was nice. How are we feeling about the boys last weekend against Florida?
I mean, I thought that they were a bit basic at times. It just really makes you think that, well, man, what's going on with us defensively? And it kind of, I hate to have Rose go back to Jayden, but Florida shouldn't have put up 35 points on our defense. And look, T-Bob, we've had remnants of this on the 19 team. Like, I remember Ole Miss putting up like a 50 burger on our defense. You know, I don't want to just sit here and bash the defense all day, but I thought that we could have played a bit better on defense. I mean, I know we had.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would say, I mean, that's every game this year.
That's every game.
Outside of Mississippi State, who has no idea who they are.
Correct. You know, you look at a game like last week. I thought that Omar Spice did okay. Harold Perkins had his normal type game. I thought, to me, the most consistent in lieu of the defensive line not really playing up to par, defense not being the hottest, I think a guy like Jordan Jefferson has been very consistent. Last game he had a half a sack with Savion Jones. So, I mean, it's LSU's defense. You know, you want to see them get better. You know, we briefly talked about recruiting just a second, talking about Jayden. I think that, you know, we do have an opportunity here to get better interior linemen moving forward. It's 2 games left, guys, so it's only natural for me to talk about this. I think we do have some key guys returning, but, I mean, defensively, that's tight. Say hey,
Titan, what's happening? What's happening? Hello, Titan.
Say hello, somebody.
Oh, you got shy now. That's how my kids go too, dude.
Hey, all the time.
Okay. So talking about guys coming back, I'm sorry, Fave, if I missed it in that answer. Do we know? Have we heard anything about Mason Smith coming back? And that may sound ridiculous. People are like, what are you talking about? Of course he needs to come back, but you know, you never quite know. Sometimes because like you got to think about it from Smith's perspective, right? He's out here working hard. He's trying to. He's trying. You know, he's trying to find his way, and he's just kind of being crapped on. And it's unfair in a way because like if he wasn't a 5-star, we wouldn't talk about him that much. But because he was, he's always gonna be held to that standard. Do we know anything about Mason Smith coming back or not?
I hadn't heard anything in particular about whether he's going to leave. I mean, you know the natural thing for us to say if you ask how bad, you need to bring your butt back to LSU. You didn't have one of those type years, but he does have the size. He does have the prototypical body. You know, I would be a lie if I didn't hear his name mentioned in the press box by the scouts that's up there. They look at him, but they don't have the production that they want to see. I'm not a big fan of guys. Listen, Derek Stingley needed to leave early. Jamar Chase needed to leave early. Those are for sure first-round guys. If you're a defensive tackle to that size, I come back to LSU next year because it's a safe place, T-Bob. Hester, it's a safe place at LSU. They racked up shorties. I mean, they count racks. Imagine if they were in school when balling came out like when we did. You think they would be throwing racks in the air? It's a safe place. No need to rush to the NFL unless you're a first or for sure second rounder. And I don't think Mason Smith is that right now. Does he have the potential to be a first rounder? Heck yeah, he does. Look at his size. He gets his technique down packed, spend his whole offseason working on my ball get off, working on my pad level, working on all those necessary things. Then I go to the league. A year like this where LSU defense sucked, we wasn't a good defense at all, barely none this year against worthy opponents, and you were on that defense missing tackles, not doing the things to be productive, and you want to jump in. Jaquelin Roy had the same conversation with him last year, but I was slightly wrong. I was, but Jaquelin at least had 3 full seasons at LSU before he decided to dipset. So that's how I look at it for Mason. If I was on his advised team, I would advise him to use this entire offseason to get better.
Hey?
Glenn Darcy
Okay.
Now you put yourself in a position to where your stock is going to go up because they're watching the tape, fellas. I think he should come back, and hopefully next Friday I have more information on what he's going to do.
Hey, Big Fave, before we let you go, I want to ask you about Jimbo Fisher. Obviously, you were at LSU when he was an assistant coach here. He goes to Florida State, wins a national championship, signs a huge deal with A&M, gets a big extension, and obviously we now know it did not work out. They've moved on. They are paying him $76 million to go away and not coach anymore. How surprised are you that Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M didn't work?
I'm a bit surprised because he did work out at Florida State. But part of me isn't super surprised because of what he's going against. I mean, you're going up against Nick Saban every year. You're going to run across a decent Ole Miss LSU team in that time frame. He just couldn't quite cross that bridge for LSU. I mean, excuse me, for Texas A&M. And I do understand that at the very end of the day that he was for certainly able to get some good recruits to come in, try to make some push here and there, but at the very end of the day, it just really is what it is with him. He couldn't beat Alabama. You're always mid-tier in the SEC West. So I mean, I listened to their AD Rouse get up and give clear narrative. Now on the money side, he winning, baby, $26,000 a day.
Oh yeah, $26K a day. How about it, dude?
I tell you what, though, I know Jimbo, and I know $76 million is a lot of money, but the failure that he had there, that $76 million ain't going to take it all away. I know y'all think I'm crazy, but just knowing him like I do, he's going to find a way to get right back into coaching somehow because in the contract language, we know he can go out there and do that, and A&M still has to pay him. I know, Jimbo, that failure is crushing him every day.
Yeah, but it ain't going to – but, I mean – he's not going to go anywhere and succeed. West Virginia ain't going to open up now, I don't think.
I didn't say he'd be successful in his next job.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I know he wants to atone for it, but I'm saying I think like, sure, whatever. We gonna see. How about like at a certain point, don't you need to enjoy your money before you can't, right? Can't take it with you. What's he going to do, bury himself like a pharaoh just with, like, his oodles of cash in there with him? I hope he would go there and maybe, I don't know. Whatever. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll figure it out, guys. I think it would be wise for him to go to television for, like, a year and give it a little time to find the right landing spot. Because if you do jump back into coaching to Hester's point, I'm with you, Hester. I think he does want to get back into coaching. But most important, I think he got to regroup.
The thing to me, it's like and he's got the natty already, dude. Like I can relate. Like Dan Mullen is like normal, right?
Yeah.
You get paid your millions. All of a sudden, it's like, oh wait, I can hang out with my kids. I can help coach their football team and watch film. I can live in Lake Oconee in Georgia. I can do TV studio work and stay in the football. I talked to did I say Land? I meant Dan Mullen. Did I say Mullen? I talked to Dan Mullen about this earlier last year where he was basically like, I miss the big wins. Like it was specifically after Utah, Florida when Florida came over the Matt's win, AR-15 spinner. He's like, that's the feeling I miss. I don't really miss too much else. And I don't know, man. But these coaches are a different breed. I guess that's how you only ever get to that point when you get that buyout anyway. All right, Fave. Well, hey, man, look, you have a good weekend. You can catch Big Fave on Eagle 98.1 pre-post game with Hunt Palmer, Brandon Taylor. Go check out Inside the Trenches as well. Fave, take it easy, brother.
Enjoy the weekend, fellas. Peace.
Hello, somebody. All right, when we get back, I want to talk this hour. I want to kind of revisit maybe some of that Chris Thompson stuff. We're getting a little Biletnikoff next. Look at all the other games going down this weekend. We got the James Madison ruling, Pontoon parlay, and Stephen A. has one of my favorite clips that I've ever heard, and it begs a question that is only appropriate for hour number 3 of this show. So keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Noel, Family Distillery. Get your alcohol. I love Noel Family Distillery. They are the official tequila of LSU Athletics. They're right there out of Donisville, Louisiana. Look, we're talking vodka, rum, tequila, both of the Reposado and Blanco variety. Chip and Natalie Noel. This is a family-owned local business. They worked at it for years, Jake. And look, ask your local grocery store, ask your local liquor store, ask your local bar. Say, hey, I want Noel, okay? And then enjoy the delicious fruits of their labor. And you support local, support Louisiana. Stop supporting Texas. They have enough NIL money. Noel Family Distillery.
Go to the website today, noeldistillery.com, and remember you can enjoy it this weekend inside of Tiger Stadium, the official tequila of LSU Athletics.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street. The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Running Bart's marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Board's marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
The Prep Football Playoffs, and we get started Friday night at 6 with Louisiana Prep Preview presented by Brock. Catholic High and John Ehret kick off at 7, and that's immediately followed by Louisiana Prep Scoreboard presented by Lake Urgent Care. On YouTube, Your View and 1045 ESPN.
Rouses, Guarantee Media, and the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank have teamed up to tackle hunger. I've been talking about it all morning long. Here's a great example of the food donation gift bags. These are throughout the store. Now, these are here pretty much year-round, right? And look, it says right here, food bank donation, $10. The best part about it is you don't do anything. Like, this is even one of those situations where you have to, like, bring in your own cans or anything. Everything's prepackaged, ready to fill up the food bank. All you do when you come here to Rouses and you take advantage of the great deals, come get your brine kit. Like I said, you get that Hormel ham, just $2.99 a pound. You get up to 16 pounds free on a frozen Butterball Grade A turkey. So it's like one of those deals where maybe you want a little practice turkey this week. Come get you a ham and turkey. Great price. Double up. Practice up. Get ready for Thanksgiving coming up next week. All the drinks, all the ingredients right here at Rouses. And while you're in here, Marcy Nathan does a great job of putting together these Rouses magazines. This is the holiday issue. Absolutely fantastic, Jake. It's going to carry you all the way through Christmas. I mean, it's just page after page of deals, of recipes. And the coolest part is, like, okay, you pick one of these up. Okay, so here, for instance, Donnie Rouse's peanut butter glazed ham. All the ingredients right here, they're all here in Rouse's.
Yep.
So you just show up, you get them, you're good to go. This is an excellent event. The Saints are out here. Rouse is the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. They got the Saints crew team, cheer crew out here. They got Gumbo out here. Going to have Randall Gay come by at 9 a.m.
Gumbo the food and Gumbo the mascot.
True. It is Gumbo season. Like, you know, obviously if you're smart, you're getting ready to save all of your turkey extras to make a little turkey stock and then save your turkey meat for a little turkey and sausage gumbo the next day. There is, like, I like the Thanksgiving meal. I love the turkey sausage gumbo that I get on the other side of it. Also, a little hot tip, Jake, that I got here recently. I don't want to screw this up. I believe, well, I can't remember if it was tallow or lard. I believe it was tallow. I think lard's maybe a bit too flavorful. Lard's pig fat, tallow's beef fat.
Yeah.
I normally just use olive oil and flour for my roux. How about a little tallow and flour for your roux? I did it last time, and it was absurdly tasty. So get into Rouses. Let's get ready for the holiday season. When you come in here, let's support a great cause. Michelle Southern's also out here with the prize wheel. You want to win gift cards, shirts, cups, whatever. It's all here for you all morning long. Bring out the kiddos. It's a great time. All right, let's circle back around to the Biletnikoff real quick, Jake, because you mentioned it. Malik Nabers, clearly the better stats than someone like Marvin Harrison Jr. He's got over 200 more yards. He's got 13 more catches. Harrison does have 2 more touchdowns, so that would count in his favor. But Marvin Harrison Jr. hasn't faced even half the schedule that Malik Nabers has. Like, the same thing that I lay out as being true for Jayden Daniels is true for Malik Nabers. You were talking about an LSU team that has faced 4 top 10 teams on the road. Now, unfortunately, because they are flawed, they have only managed to win 1 of those games. But in those games, we talked about how well Jayden Daniels has played, right? He's averaged 390 total yards. Yeah. He scored 9 total touchdowns, and that's with getting knocked out of that Alabama game. If we look at Malik Nabers in those games, 6 for 67 against Florida State. Not the most overwhelming, but again, remember, what did Marvin Harrison do in his first top 10 game against Notre Dame? 3 for 30. Then he goes against Ole Miss, 8 for 102. Against Mizzou, 6 for 146 and a touchdown. And against Alabama, Alabama and Georgia have the best secondaries in the entire country. He went for 10, 171 and a touchdown in 3 quarters. So he has better stats. He's played a harder schedule. He's been better against the good competition. He should win the Biletnikoff. He won't. And
right.
it's a bit ironic, Jake, because you know why he's not going to? Because the success of Jayden Daniels and Brian Thomas.
And preseason narrative.
But what they're going to say is what Marvin Harrison is doing with Kyle McCord is more impressive than what Malik Nabers is doing with Jayden Daniels, because Kyle McCord kind of sucks and Jayden Daniels is incredible.
Look, Okay, it's a situation where I think the preseason talk plays a lot into this. And a lot of people are saying, well, his name, too. I don't know how much the name, it probably plays into it some way. Marvin Harrison's a hell of a football player, too. Like, I want to always, say that in this conversation because I believe it to be true. But honestly, his numbers are closer to Brian Thomas Jr. than they are Malik Nabers.
Yep.
Marvin Harrison Jr., 59 catches. Brian Thomas, 51. Yards, 1,063 for Marvin Harrison Jr. Brian Thomas, 910. 18 yards per catch for Marvin Harrison Jr., 18 yards per catch for Brian Thomas. 13 touchdowns for Brian Thomas, 12 for Marvin Harrison Jr. So LSU's second receiver actually has closer numbers to Marvin Harrison Jr. than Malik Nabers, who is LSU's number 1 receiver. I mean, we could go back and forth. I have yet to find an argument that makes me say, you know what, maybe you're right. There's no maybe you're right. I just think that Malik Nabers has been the best receiver in the country. He should win the Biletnikoff. And honestly, it's sad that 2 weeks left in the regular season, and we know he's not going to.
Yeah. No. Yeah, he just doesn't have the juice. Just doesn't have the name. Doesn't have the he has the numbers. It's really he just doesn't have the name. And again, he's going to get dinged because the LSU offense is so awesome as a whole, which sucks. But you'd say, but T-Bob Jamar Chase won it. Well, there wasn't a Marvin Harrison Jr. candidate out there, and Jamar Chase had like Devontae Smith level numbers. How many touchdowns did Chase end up with that year? Was it 20? Yeah, I think he ended up with 20.
I want to say he broke Doring's record, whatever it was.
And when Devontae Smith won the Heisman, I want to say he even went over 20. So, again, you want to – Malik, I think just objectively has a better case for Biletnikoff. It ain't going to happen. If you want to invite Marvin Harrison Jr. to New York if they beat Michigan, do so. But do not. There's just no – chance in hell that dude should win the Heisman over our boy Jayden.
No, that can't happen.
Shout out to the Colonels. How about it, dude? Nicholls State last night beat Southeastern 21-16 in a defensive battle. Coach Tim Rebowe continues to get this team. Look, I watched a lot of Nicholls footballs during the Stubbs years. My little brother played there. I felt awful for him. We're talking
Rebowe.
1-11, sometimes losing to like the Division II teams that are supposed to be your relative cupcakes. And now,
I can tell it's still affecting you. You're getting choked up talking about it right now.
I know,
like you felt bad for Bo.
So how about this? Last night in a hard-fought battle, Nicholls wins the Riverbell Classic 21-16, finish unbeaten for the first time in school history, and claim outright the Southland Football Championship. It is nothing short of amazing what Rebowe has built there. Congratulations to the Colonels. Colonel Pride, still a little upset about what the basketball team did to LSU and what the baseball team did to LSU this year, but still, nonetheless, shout out to the homies. First ever undefeated season in school history deserves a lot of praise.
Yeah, one of the things I really love doing 6 to 8 radio is we would have a ton of the Southland coaches on the show because it worked out. It was after practice, and we had the schedule just worked out better. Coach Rebowe was one of the guys that came on all the time.
Yep.
And just really enjoyed getting to know him, talking football with him, and he's done a hell of a job. You're right. From where they were to where they're at right now, and have an opportunity to now in the playoffs make some real noise. I love the story. Been down there plenty of times for the Manning Passing Academy. Do a great job. That whole deal. Just kind of the city gets taken over by the Manning Passing Academy. But Coach Rebowe, just everything that he's done there so far has worked.
Speaking of LSU basketball, did y'all talk about losing yesterday again? I got to be honest, they did
lost.
Not, y'all.
They were up 15-T. And
who'd they lose to?
Dayton, and then they're up.
The Flyers?
Yeah, they're up
Crap!
3. They're up 3. They allow them to hit the game tying 3, and then they get the ball back, and Dayton hits the game winning 3. So that's the second time this year. Nicholls was the first one. Now Dayton that they've hit a game winning 3 right there at the end, but up 15 points. Let them come back, and then up 3 incredibly late in that game. Let them tie it, then let them win it.
Look, dude, I think McMahon's a good coach. I think like Jimbo Fisher, he's probably very unhappy with how things are going. Like Jimbo Fisher, he did get a nice payday. Ultimately, Jake, we talked about it. We laid it out yesterday. LSU and Louisiana as an economy is already hamstrung. On how much money there is to go around and go to these players. And, I mean, even in football, you're falling behind, and that's priority number one. Priority two is probably, baseball. And granted, you're probably ahead in baseball. I don't actually know that to be the case or not. But then even women's basketball.
Yeah. What was the number we had?
18,000.
I think it was 16,000.
16,000.
Either way, it's not like 16 or 18,000 matters. When you had Georgia had over 300,000 for basketball players.
Yeah. And Miami's 200 plus.
252.
Duke and UNC are 200. So.
And you got $16,000.
So Matt McMahon's just like, I think he's just in an impossible situation. I don't. And then even you get a guy like Jay and Lee, and then the NCAA, just like they do JMU and everybody else, are like, nah, fam. So it's rough for the basketball team. And by the way, I'm sorry. I was saying I meant undefeated Southland record. Yes, to be clear. Which is all that matters because look, you schedule.
You win the Southland, you're going to get a nice spot in the playoffs.
Well, yeah, and not only that, but like these teams. That is one thing I know that when I complain about cupcake games and everything else, like. That is going to be a bummer to have to try to figure out. These teams have to schedule teams they know they're going to lose to in order to fund the programs, right? And so I don't really care about any overall records too much when it comes to these smaller schools. But how about it? Nicholls State 6-0. This says, Emil texts me, LSU and Ohio State have faced the same number of top 20 defenses this year, with Ohio State having Notre Dame, Penn State, and Rutgers. That's fair. I would say this. I think a top 10 team means more than just playing against a very good defense, right? Rutgers does not threaten you in the same way that a Penn State or Notre Dame does, or Mizzou, or any of the teams that we just talked about. And on top of that, I know something we have talked about, Jake, and we got to go to break, so I'll get out after this. But Big Ten defensive stats are warped. Like, yes, Penn State is NFL talent. They're awesome. I think Ohio State is very good. I think Michigan has very good defenses. The other teams are warped because it's a conference that just has crap offense, top to bottom. So I'm not a big Rutgers believer. It's nice what they've done. They're scrappy. Shiano's doing a good job, but I'm not going to sit up there and talk about how good they are in that regard. All right. When we get back, more OTB. Keep it locked right here. Rolling right along. Hello, somebody. Let's talk college football.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on all new 23 Ford F-150 Black Widow trucks, plus $2,750 discount APR and 5.9% for 72 months. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction.
This Sunday, as we bring you 3 different NFL games, we start with the noon kickoff, the Chargers at Packers. Immediately following that, it's Buccaneers at 49ers, and then the night game, the Vikings and Broncos. Catch all 3 of those games right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Mario texting the group. Do y'all think people had Morse code sex? No. I don't know. It feels hard for me to wrap my head around. Yeah, like sexting, obviously.
Right.
And people did used to write racy letters. I was talking to somebody the other day who's sadly, I believe it was his father or grandfather who passed, right? And so they're going through all of his old stuff, and they found some steamy letters from him and Grandma. So we've been knowing that's going down. I'm sure back in Roman times, people used to chisel away something or two. But there's something about Morse code that I just can't fathom translates itself well. But, I mean, I don't know. Now that we're talking this out, I think the question of whether or not people did something regarding sex, the answer is almost always yes. Imagine you hear like a little beep, 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 beep. Oh, hey now. Okay. Beep, 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 beep. Hey, I'm finished. Done.
With this bit or with the...
I know, with both. Yes. Taylor says they did. They used telegrams. They probably sent nudes using a carrier pigeon. Yeah, like you're back in Renaissance Italy and you're just drawing a self-portrait of you naked and then carrier pigeoning it off to Lady, Lady Oliveira or something along those lines. All right. We're here at Rouses, benefiting the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. Randall Kay's going to be out here at 9 a.m. Heck yeah. Can't wait to talk to Randall. And let's talk a little college football weekend. It's a lighter weekend. We went heavy on Washington, Oregon State yesterday, so we're not going to do that today. Obviously, I think that, well, not obviously. It's an awful matchup for Washington. I think Oregon State wins. It bums me out. UGA, Tennessee. UGA and Neyland. Going to be electric environment, 2:30 p.m. Jake, one of the last times we are going to hear beam, bada-beam, bada-beep-beep-beep, when it comes to an SEC game. Who you got?
I still got Georgia.
Duh.
I mean, I watched the Missouri tape. Missouri big boy Tennessee. And Tennessee was a team that was running the football
They're very
well.
good in the trenches, too. Tennessee's good in the trenches.
Actually, this year, if you have been the #1 rush defense in the SEC, it is almost guaranteed you are going to get run on the next week.
Yeah.
Like, it is almost played out, like, every single week. And Cody Schrader did that. I mean, that outside zone that they continue to run, Tennessee had no answer for it. This being in Neyland gives it some juice. Tennessee doesn't have the weapons, though, to be able to go beat Georgia. It's a 10.5-point spread right now. I'd be shocked if they didn't cover at this point. I mean, I really think Georgia has the advantage at every single level.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not to say that maybe Tennessee won't have their moments, but I think just like the Alabama game, they just lack the consistency to do it for a full 60, right? Like, think about that Alabama-Tennessee game, which I don't know if y'all watched, but Tennessee got to a 20-7 lead at halftime. 20-7. I mean, you really could not have – even, Jake, there were some wasted opportunities, some bad moments where they missed where, they kind of failed in the red zone. But right before half, they finally converted the red zone. They scored a touchdown. Like, it could not have gone better for Tennessee in the first half. And then the game didn't even finish close. It just completely got outclassed. And so that's the problem with the Volunteers this year is without great quarterback play, they're good in a lot of areas, but they lack consistency to finish the fight. Georgia wins. The only thing that I'm kind of wondering about, Jake, Carson Beck's been in one adverse environment this year, and it was a close game.
Against Auburn.
Against Auburn.
Yeah.
Now, it looks like they've improved greatly, especially him since that moment. But, Beck doesn't face a lot of pressure. Remember, we were like, you got to get after Jalen Milroe. And I was like, I don't think that matters at all. Everybody gets after Jalen Milroe.
Right.
I don't know that I can say that about Carson Beck. And Tennessee gets after the quarterback. They create a ton of havoc. So maybe there's an angle there to be had. But over time, Georgia pulls away. Because, again, Georgia is Alabama, only more so.
I just don't think that Joe Milton would be able to go out there and make the plays that you have to make. Remember, Peyton Thorne did. Peyton Thorne ran that QB counter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was perfect. They had a hell of a game plan. They were running the same look. It was a zone read, and it looked exactly like the Q counter, which is very hard to do, but they did a really nice job, and that was kind of their change of pace. I don't know that Tennessee right now has the ability to pull off something like that, and that's what you have to do when you're in this game. Even Spencer Rattler, when South Carolina was up, he was playing out of his mind. Now, he was getting hit every time he threw it because the offensive line for South Carolina was so bad. I don't expect Joe Milton to be able to give you anything that can go out there and beat the #1 team in the country.
More OTB next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Community Steel Company, CommunitySteelCo.com. Go there today for all of your steel products. You need purlin, you need tubing, you need steel buildings, you need sheet metal. They got it all over there at Community Steel with a live and local sales team. Don't you want to touch the product before you buy it, Jake? If you're going to some of these national guys, you're going to be ordering online. You're not going to be dealing with people. You can't see the product. You can't walk through the buildings. It's a superior experience at a superior price. It's local. There's no middleman jacking up the price for you on the back end. So it's the best. CommunitySteelCo.com.
When you go to that website, you'll see exactly what we're talking about. You get a chance to see Gonzales, Louisiana right there on the homepage because it is local. They're all about being local. You don't have to go find it in Austin or Dallas or Houston or Atlanta. It is right here. Call that number today. We give you 225-647-2020.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
Running Boards marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on.
Join me for a Football Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, presented by Cork's Cajun Fried Fish and Shrimp. Get you ready for LSU Georgia State, reacting to the Bengals and Ravens, and we'll throw some basketball in there as well from Charleston. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
You get down on it. Woohoo! Welcome back. OTB out here. Rouses come out here this morning. We'll be here all morning long. 104.5 ESPN will raise money, raising donations to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. Tackling Hunger, you see it right there. $10 bags, $5 bags as well. You don't do anything at checkout. Throw one of these things in there. Support a great cause. Come get ready for Thanksgiving. Pick up your Rouse's winter holiday issue. All kinds of great recipes, everything. And the best part is, you know when you have a recipe and you're like, well, damn, now I got to go buy this and I got to go buy that. You get this in the grocery store, and then you just go and buy everything you need right here at Rouse's. That Donnie Rouse peanut butter glazed ham is kind of calling my name, man. We got the Saints cheerleaders out here. We got Gumbo. We got Randall Gay coming. So it's a really fun morning here at Rouse's. Probably more fun than people are having in Las Vegas right now, as an F1 race is going out of Vegas this weekend, and reportedly it has been a complete disaster. So the road course is pretty cool. It goes all throughout the main strip, across the sphere, whatever, Jake. 8 minutes into practice, a manhole cover or the concrete surrounding a manhole cover burst, cancels practice. They're now trying to get that fixed. They've reportedly invested over $500 million into making this race happen. The locals have been having to deal with traffic for months as they try to flatten, because these roads got to be flat.
Yeah.
For these F1 cars. Like, it got to be perfectly smooth, right? Which, granted, maybe they're going to be happy about long-term, locals will be, but still.
I mean, locals live there, but I hear what you're saying.
I mean, there's an economy there. I feel
on the outside of the strip.
But there's all kinds of crazy stories, bro. So apparently when everything was announced, they started jacking up prices like crazy. Like hotels bumped up their rates by 200, 300%, and it's all cratering. There was one journalist who said they just booked a room at the Flamingo for $18 a night. $18 a night at a time when F1 is descending upon Las Vegas. Absolutely insane. Crazy.
That is insane. Now, I know a lot of people are excited about that. When I was talking with Will Compton last week, like they're going out there, and I was talking to another guy. Who else was I talking to? Like their whole show.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool as hell if like somebody paid for you to go to an F1 race.
Absolutely.
It's all like,
so it's been the buzz, but Vegas. There's a couple things that they're doing. They're screwing that up, and they're stealing sports franchises from Oakland.
Yeah, the A's officially making the move to Vegas. Nobody's surprised, but yeah, going to an F1 race, like if you're a Hunger Games fan, it just feels like a sporting event that the Capitol would throw on. It's just like pure, what's the word I'm looking for? Ostentation, just like money.
Ostentation.
It's just the ultimate rich people stuff. F1 is. Like, I would never go of my own accord, but if somebody from work wanted to send us, like, yeah, program director Moscona, you want to send us to an F1 race?
Yeah.
Get some boots on the ground coverage?
Makes a lot of sense for a Louisiana sports radio show.
I agree.
Sense.
I agree. We are the biggest F1 fans in Louisiana. Hour 3 of OTB coming up next.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Buck.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Good morning, everybody. It is 9 a.m. on Friday, November 17th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 69. Coming up on OTBOT, we put together our weekly Pontoon parlay ahead of the college football weekend. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from Rouses, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Welcome back, OTB. Shout out my guy Thomas in the chat saying thanks for giving a shout out to my grandpa's sexting letters. Yeah, I mean, look, it stuck with me. It was a good conversation, dude. It was a good conversation. That's what's up, man. You had to do that. I can only imagine how many times you were poring over those letters, like as you were away from your loved one. My grandpa had some similar things as well, as he had to leave, cut off, and go to LSU, and grandma was behind. Everybody's trying to make it out here. Dude. Yeah, do what you had to do.
T-Bob, do you remember?
Me personally, I don't think I've ever done any sexting.
Do you remember writing, like, just notes, just like high school, middle school, more middle school probably than high school, but like that's what you did. Like you wrote a note,
yeah, dude.
You passed it out. What are you doing this weekend? Who you hanging with? What's going on? Want to hang out? Like whatever it was. Like that was communication for us before you had the ability to text.
I remember passing notes in class, which was always a risky proposition because
you had to get it read in front of everybody.
Yeah, if you got caught, you might have to read in front of the class. I also remember more than that, like you're alluding to, leading notes in lockers. So fold it up, slip it through the little grate there. It was such a good feeling when you had a fresh note come in, hearts all over it. If it was from your crush or maybe somebody that you wanted to be your crush, that was great. I actually found some of me and my old wife's notes from 10th grade that were hilarious to read through because I've now known this woman for 18 years, and this is when we had known each other for maybe like a year. And so just the depth of conversation is – and I think this is when I was still kind of friend-zoned, and so it's kind of cringy in some ways.
Ooh.
Out of all the texting shorthand, the AIM shorthand, right? Think like, G2G, gotta go. There were, what's up, NMU, nothing much you. There was a lot of it. There was nothing that you wanted to see less. TTYL, that's, talk to you later. That was fine. There was nothing that you wanted to see less than Lilab. Do you know what Lilab is, Jake?
No, I have no idea.
Love you like a brother.
Ooh.
It hurts to even say it, dude.
Gosh.
Lilab.
Love you like a brother. That is
bro.
Shot through the heart.
And I'm going to go out on a limb, and while many of us would respond to Lilab with Lilas, not many actually felt that way.
You chicken pecked it. Like you're sitting there hitting every letter, writing it back, just mad and getting more mad with each letter.
Like I was dreaming of over the pants stuff and maybe even under the shirt stuff and maybe even a movie makeout. And I'm sitting here getting hit with Lilab? Why did I spend so much time trying to craft the perfect AIM to you? Oh, God.
I've never even heard about that one, but gosh, I can't even imagine getting that sent to me.
No, it hurts so bad, dude.
Yeah.
It hurts so bad. T-Bob strikes me as a footsie participator. I mean, bro, if you never played footsie in class, footsie in class is pretty scandalous. Like, that ain't no Lilab stuff there. You ain't playing footsie with somebody you saying Lilab with. Let's be painfully clear about that.
No, because if you tried, that foot's going right back away from you.
Yes. Yeah.
Quickly to let you know that I love you, but like a brother.
God, dude. I think my wife might have even hit me with one of those. I don't know. I think she might have hit me with a Lilab in that in those notes that I was talking about. Now, if you look on the hub nowadays, which none of us in Louisiana can, because who in the hell wants to put their real ID into an erotic website? That's just the dumbest ass law that's ever been passed in the entire world. Because it doesn't stop anything. It's a waste of legislative time and resources. And, again, it's just dumb. But if you would look on the hub, I don't know, Jake, maybe in this current generation, Lilab or Lilas could mean a little more. You might still be alive. Right?
So someone was asking, does it mean something different in Alabama? Would you want to hear that maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, whatever started in Alabama, again, if you just look at the metrics and the analytics, seems to have infected the rest of the country in a kind of shocking way. And in fact, as who said this? As Daniel Basham points out, maybe you actually want to hear Lilasba. Love you like a stepbrother. Because that, look, there's a lot of that going around these days.
All right.
How about this? We'll keep this inappropriate train rolling. This is a longer clip, boys. Get it ready. This is Stephen A. This proves why Stephen A. is the GOAT. Here is Stephen A. on his, which, have you seen any clips out of the Stephen A. podcast, Jake?
Just the ones that you've shown me.
Almost all of which are Stephen A. being horny, which I absolutely love. My man finally has an outlet to get his less, his more PG-13 takes out there. So here was Stephen A. Being asked a question from one of the best Twitter accounts, Ballsack Sports.
To get on out of here for the show, and I was getting ready to walk away and tell y'all I'll talk to y'all in the next day or so, same bat time and channel. But then I got tipped off that I need to stand up to end this show because somebody tweeted me a question and they said, Stephen A., you can't sit down for this. You got to stand up to answer this question. So I guess I'm going to do that to end the show and see what the hell these folks are talking about. Okay, y'all got me standing up. Okay, I'm standing. I'm here. Put up your question. Let me see what the question is. At Ballsack Sports. Good Lord. You couldn't come up with a name better than that? Damn, so crass. Anyway, Stephen A., would you go a year without sex if it guaranteed the Knicks a championship? A year without sex? Nah. I want the Knicks to win so bad. I have suffered for decades. Ladies and gentlemen, I am 56 years old. The last time the Knicks won the championship, I was 5. 5. I deserve better. I think I'm a decent young man. I go to church. I tithe. Pay my tithe. I try to do the right thing. I know that, Pastor Bernard, please forgive me. I know that I have a ways to go. I do. But I try. It's not for lack of effort. It's just hard. It's hard. And when you ask that question, to me, you're alluding to one of the most blasphemous words in history, and that's celibacy. I can't function like that. That's going too far. Monogamy, no problem. Celibacy is another matter. And to know that you're asking me to do it for the New York Knicks, essentially you're asking me to do it for James Dolan. That ain't happening. But if there's anything that could have gotten me to consider it, it would have been the Knicks winning the championship. I want it so bad. What it would do for my life, what it would do for my heart and my soul, how it would elevate my level of enthusiasm, how it would get me hyped. Oh, my Lord, I can't even tell you. But I love sex. I just do. It's not about having it all the time. It's about knowing I can. See, it's one thing to go a year without. It's another thing to look in advance and say you have to go a year without. You know, it comes and goes and you're happy, you're in the mood, you're out of the mood, you do something, you don't do something, you flow. But you know how we are, especially as men. Women too, by the way. The second you tell us we can't do something is when it's harder not to do it. That's me. Even if it was for a Knicks championship. It's just the truth, y'all. It's just the truth.
This truth, yeah. God, I love Stephen A, dude. That is why that man is the GOAT right there.
Where
but
does this podcast live? Like,
I don't know.
Who,
I don't know, to be honest.
Studios or like
I'm not entirely sure.
Platform.
What's up? But so it does beg the question though, Jake. Everton. EPL championship.
Did you just see the news?
What?
Financial shenanigans apparently with signing player doing different things. They docked them 10 points and they're now in the relegation zone.
Oh my God.
They were playing well right there, getting close to the middle of the table. And apparently the Premier League docked them 10 points this morning. They're now firmly back in the relegation zone.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah. To answer your question, no.
Not even Everton.
No.
Something that would never happen. It wouldn't. They are never going to win a Premier League title.
I mean, they won the league in 1986, so I mean, it's
okay,
happened in my lifetime.
No. You getting up into Stephen A. territory.
I was 1. He was 5. That's true.
38. I was 1 year. Oh, I need it. The only thing I disagree with Stephen A. on is you're not doing it for James Dolan. You're doing it for Nick Nation. And you got to be willing to put on for the Blue, Jake. I think that's, I'm a little shocked.
Yeah.
I knew LSU, because LSU's won him in football, in baseball. I I feel like even though you love the Chargers with the Chargers,
I mean, the Chargers. Part of my love for the Chargers is just the roller coaster that it is.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I know you don't have. It's not the same as your love for Everton.
It's actually the team I've played for longest in my lifetime.
What if I offered you a treble?
No, I mean,
Champions League, EPL title, FA Cup. All you got to do is 1 year. And as somebody pointed out on Twitter earlier, you can do it to where the year ends when you win it. Ultimate celebration. You do it for the run, and then when they win it, you get the ultimate celebratory night.
Bob, just like if I threw this to you and I said the Saints and the Pelicans and LSU could win titles all in the same year, but you'd have to go a year, I know you. There's no way.
Where there's a will, there's a way. I might be able to, We didn't look. We said no sex. We didn't say.
I know. Listen.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're about to say. Let's not say it.
I know. I'm not going to say it because everybody knows. We said no sex. All I'm saying is, and also I believe in forced scarcity, right? Like how when you're really thirsty, and sometimes you let that thirst go a little bit longer, or you don't drink for the entire workout. And you build it up so the first time you get that sip of water, it tastes so much better. It tastes like manna from heaven. It would probably be the best sex you've ever had in your entire life. At least feeling-wise. Not the longest, certainly. But maybe the best. I don't know.
Yeah, there's just not a scenario. I mean, just, be great. Be great to win all those championships, but at what cost?
At what cost? That's what I'm saying. But you can't sacrifice for the greater good. 1 year for the greater good for your boys in blue. Doesn't seem like a very real Everton fan to me.
Would they do it for me?
That's not the question. That's not the question. Do you want to be like do you want to be like the only man who's ever been perfect to ever live? Did he do it for himself or did he do it for us? You know what I'm saying?
He did do it for us.
He did it for us. And so all I'm saying is, if you really want to follow in those footsteps, you got to selflessly put it. J.R.R. Tolkien made up a word called eucatastrophe.
Yeah.
And it's grace unasked for and unearned. Really, it's the most core and Christian of concepts, okay? And it's going out there and doing something for people that you don't know, that don't ask for it, that won't ever maybe even appreciate what you did for them. And yet you do it anyway.
Yeah. Again, I gave you 3 of your teams, and you didn't commit one way or the other.
They all kind of won championships. I don't love the
Pelicans. Certainly didn't.
No, I know. I don't love the Pelicans enough to do it anymore, though. The Pelicans have made me so angry with Bally Sports that they've actually killed like 50% of my fanhood. They're so hard to watch now. Not the product. Like, they're just actually hard to watch. It makes me ridiculously angry. I think it's disrespectful to the fan base. So I guess I do feel Stephen A. on that. And he's like, I'm doing this for James Dolan. I ain't doing this for the people that made the decision to stick with Bally Sports. Because just because they tried to F me doesn't mean I'm not going to F for an entire year. You know what I'm saying? Get the hell out of here. What would it take? If I got to go and, hang out or, be a part of, a new Lord of the Rings movie or something along those lines, then we might actually start talking. That might be something that would actually maybe give you. Is that Susan Boyle? It's got to be Susan Boyle, yeah?
I don't know. Susan Boyle from, the reality show?
From Britain's Got Talent, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I'm telling you, I think that's Susan Boyle, dude. All right, when we get back, we got more OTB. We got to put together a pontoon parlay next, boys. Hopefully we'll also get Randall Gay on here pretty soon. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
OTB, OT.
What we got? I lost my. Go to K to Z window coverings, KTOZblinds.com. Whether it's interior, exterior, whatever it is, they got your back, man. You want to go to K to Z today, and look, let them bring your home to the next level. Maybe what's a beautiful plantation shutters or something on the outside, something more aesthetic. They got you. If you got outdoor living space, you want to keep the heat out, the bugs out, they got you. man cave, baby room, bedroom, blackout curtains, like whatever it is, both functionally and aesthetic, go to the experts. Go to K to Z window coverings, K2ZBlinds.com.
Yeah, go to their website today. You get that consultation set up. They're going to come out to your home. They know your space better than anybody when they leave, right? They're going to come in, get you a plan, multiple options, multiple colors to choose from, and every single thing you do. K2ZBlinds.com, K2ZBlinds.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Moscona inviting you to join us for a Football Friday edition of AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Phil Steele's with us previewing the biggest games of the college football weekend. The right radio hours. Join us 3 to 6, 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Here comes the money. Ching, bling, bling, cut the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter. Ching, ching, bling, bling, patent pockets. We take the dollar, can a damn soul stop it. Here comes the new kid on the block. Hold all your bets, here's where the buck stops. See, first of all, I'm stepping out on my own. About time
OTB, OT, with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
All right, welcome back into OTB, again live here at Rouses. Come hang out. Randall Blugay already here up front signing autographs. A couple of things to get to still on today's show. Going to do the Pontoon parlay here coming up. But one thing I definitely wanted to mention here today, the NCAA getting it wrong yet again. And, well, there's a lot of things that they could get wrong, and they get a lot of things wrong because they always get it wrong. But it's James Madison. We've probably, talked about the story a lot where they're undefeated. They're 10-0, 6-0 in the Sun Belt, ranked number 18 in the country, but they couldn't go to a bowl game because – there's this transition period, and the NCAA is like, you need 2 years of transitioning into this new level of football, the FBS, before you can be eligible for a bowl game. And it's just so dumb. It makes no sense. This is a team in James Madison that the Sun Belt has already said, you can play in our conference championship if the NCAA approves it. And they got denied yesterday. And just another weak blanket statement from the NCAA. Requirements for members transitioning into the FBS are based on factors beyond athletic performance. They are intended to ensure schools are properly evaluating their long-term stability in the subdivision. Sponsoring sports at this level requires increased scholarships, expanded athletic compliance efforts, blah, 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 blah. T-Bob, James Madison ain't new to this, right? Read the room. Realize that their transition period, it's well over, all right? They're a top 25 basketball team, a top 25 football team. They have been there, done that. They've had College Game Day multiple times already. They're getting it again this weekend. They have run through the gambit of one of the best group of 5 conferences in the Sun Belt. They beat Virginia this year on the road out of the ACC. They have transitioned. I don't think you have to worry about them anymore. Take a look at it. Just open it up and say, okay, yeah, this university has been around forever. I think they're pretty stable. I think they figured out how to transition to this new level of football, and they have a chance to go win a conference championship for those seniors, to win a ring, maybe even get into a New Year's Six bowl game, depending on if Tulane, falter here down the stretch. You know what that would do for that university and the money that would bring in for that university? But the NCAA says no to them and Jacksonville State. Now the only way they can go bowling is if there's not enough teams that qualify, but it still doesn't get them in the Sun Belt Championship with the opportunity to win that conference.
Yeah, it's I talked about it a bit yesterday, but Charlie Baker, the new NCAA president, obviously Mike Slive seemed to want to put a thumb on the scale for kind of doing nothing. And it kind of felt like, okay, we're entering this transformational time in college athletics. You need a transformational leader, one who will take more risks. And so, and granted, they ended up going with the politician, right? Because it felt like NCAA goal number 1 was getting some sort of federal act of Congress to put up some sort of NIL guidelines. That ain't happening. Like, there's just no juice.
Yeah.
Guess what, guys? Nobody gives a damn that college players are being paid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares. The only fights you need to worry about is soon the players are going to start getting into that TV revenue.
Yeah.
Like that's the fight that you actually start worrying about. So they go with the politician, and this is what I don't understand, because somebody would say, oh, well, of course it's why he's being bad. He's a politician. But, okay, politicians understand taking the public wins when you can. Like, taking the wins that are just so easy that are going to get you good press. And yet he shows the same inexplicable commitment to minutia that has kind of made the NCAA a joke in the first place, right? Where they get so married to these technicalities that we just all look at and say, well, we don't care. Like, what's the big deal? Let him play. We understand that Tez Walker maybe technically transferred again before he's supposed to, but we also understand with COVID and everything else that he never got to play there, that he's never, like, it's just, it's such a poor and easily avoidable loss of face for the NCAA. Everybody already thinks they're a joke. This makes them look more out of touch. It makes them look like more of a joke, and it's wild. Is College Game Day going to JMU this weekend? Yeah. Did I see that? Did you see
Appalachian State.
Did you see the guest picker is?
I have not.
I'm shocked they did this. PFT commenter.
Is he?
Yeah, dude. They brought in the hopefully some Lowman talk, some fullback Heisman talk. Maybe makes it onto the show. Yeah. But yeah, they're bringing in PFT commenter to be the guest picker, which is a big win. Speaking of being wrong, I was dead wrong about the Nate Bargatze thing. for LSU Alabama. I still am shocked that he was the guest picker. When they announced that, or when he announced that, I thought that was like absolutely a bit or like a joke.
He's a Vanderbilt
He's a stand-
fan,
Yeah,
right?
he's a stand-up comedian. But whatever. Yeah, I don't know. The James Madison thing's a joke, but the NCAA just can't get out their own
I mean,
way.
even Jacksonville State, 7-3, 5-1 in Conference USA, they would go to a nice bowl game. But I think it's more of a story for JMU because of how healthy their athletic department's been. Again, top 25 basketball, football. They've won so many big games, and they've transitioned. Just last year, they had a great year. And they have an opportunity for James Madison to go to a New Year's Six bowl game.
Okay, so speaking of, Pedro says Virginia AG filing suit in federal court to overturn.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen there. Remember, today, Jim Harbaugh was supposed to be in court in Washtenaw County, Ann Arbor, Michigan, arguing that there should be an injunction filed against the NCAA ruling suspending him. Yesterday, it comes out Harbaugh's going to take it, and Michigan's going to take it. What's your interpretation of that? Are they trying to get past it? Like maybe they were told, like, look, if you just take this, there'll be no further punishments coming.
I mean,
but
that's
that ain't true. The NCAA's still coming
Yeah,
after
but that might
him.
be 6 years down the road. I mean, the Big Ten's like, hey, do you really want to fight this? We gave you 3 games. That's all it has to be. That's why we put regular season in there. Do you want to fight this, or can we just squash this and we'll shut down our investigation? I think probably for Michigan, like, okay, oh yeah, that sounds great. That sounds great because they know probably, minus the probably, that the NCAA is going to take years to do anything. Look at Kansas basketball, North Carolina basketball, LSU basketball.
Yeah, the IARP
Arizona,
is a
like
joke.
all of this takes multiple years, and then a lot of times by the end of it, nothing actually happens. And so if I'm Michigan, the Big Ten was always going to be the thing that was going to come after me and probably have the ability to have it happen the quickest. I mean, look, it was like 3-week period and they're like 3-game suspension. The NCAA would take 3 years to do that. So I think for Michigan, right, they understood that there was things that were damning to them. I mean, there was too much evidence for there not to be something, but they said, hey, we've already done this 4 times now this year. We can do it against Maryland. Is it going to suck not to have him against Ohio State on game day? Yes, but he's going to be there literally all the way up until basically kickoff. He's going to be coaching all during the week. That's what makes this a little bit different. He's not, out of the building like when Sean Payton and others have been suspended. He's there literally for everything outside of game day.
Something to be said, though, for not having your general on game day.
For sure, but it's the best case of a bad situation.
That is true. That is also fair. Do we know where he watches the game? Like, is he allowed in the stadium?
No.
Okay.
No, he can't be in the stadium.
Okay.
Can't
So
be
he
in the
is
stadium.
watching at TV somewhere around there. All right, look, get out to Rouses today, y'all. Tackling hunger for the Baton Rouge Food Bank. It's going on all morning long. We got Saints cheerleaders here. Randall Gay is here, one of 2 players to be born in Louisiana that won a Super Bowl and a national championship for their hometown teams. Who's the other one? A little trivia answer coming up next here on Off the Bench. Pontoon Parlay as well.
OTB, OT. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Sanders joins for Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments from Rufino's. Richard Dixon and I get it started at 10 a.m. for 3 big hours of college football preview. Live at lunch, 10 a.m. on Friday from 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. And right now it is time for the DraftKings Pontoon Parlay. And remember, it is football season. And DraftKings official sports betting partner of the NFL. And Turkey Week's about to be here. So remember, right now you sign up, use the promo code Baton Rouge when you sign up. You bet $5 on the NFL. You get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Okay, so no matter your appetite, there's something there for you. And if you're a returning customer, we got all the same game parlays, multi-game parlays, whatever you want to do, go play at DraftKings. And remember, every NFL game day, of which there are, just look at next week, we're going to have Sunday Night Football. Well, Sunday for the football, Monday Night Football, Thanksgiving football, Friday football, and then more Sunday football. There's great NFL deals every single game day on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537. Must be 21 or older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Licensee partner, Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Eligibility and pot restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Terms and sportsbooks at DraftKings.com/football terms. All right, let's get into the Pontoon Parlay here, boys. We have put in who's added these all to the dot. Who's? We got right now potential.
I know Mario is the money line for Louisville over Miami.
Okay, Louisville money line over Miami. Louisville's +1
those top three I put in there because I like all three, and I'm trying to hone in on which one I want to choose. My three are Iowa -3 at home versus Illinois, North Carolina +7.5 at Clemson, North Carolina State +2.5 at Virginia Tech.
I love UNC +7.5. I would vote that in the boat immediately.
Okay. Iowa -3. The over/under is set at 32. Illinois 5-5.
This will
it's
not
at home.
This will not. It's at home for who? Illinois.
Iowa. No, it's Iowa. Iowa's at home. -3.
Ooh, I like that too. Then I feel. Okay. Didn't Illinois' quarterback just over like 500 yards? I mean, they're not going to do it against Iowa.
Not on Iowa.
No, I feel you. I know. I mean, Iowa makes us money a lot of times, and Iowa did dominate last week. Okay, so I love UNC +7.5. I can get behind Iowa -3. I don't know much about NC State except they're secretly playing better than we've all kind of, like everybody kind of checked out on them.
Hey, let's take it out.
And now they're 7-3. Louisville money line. Mario's been on fire, so that makes me trust him.
Yeah.
But that's pretty stinky. I'm saying for Louisville to be a dog.
Now it has.
It's not like Miami has any home field advantage.
So the line actually was Miami. It has gone back to the other side. Now Louisville is a very small 1 or 1.5 point favorite now here later.
I like
in the
that
week.
more. I like that more. I like them being favored. I don't like them as a dog in this. Okay, so North Carolina's in. Mario, you have been really good lately, so you get the benefit of the doubt. Louisville's in. Taylor, did you do Georgia -10?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
How do we feel about Georgia? I'm seeing it at 10.5 now, I believe.
Yeah, I'm seeing it at 10.5.
I hate that hook. I don't know, man. I don't know. I haven't felt like I clearly think Georgia's going to win this game big. I think they win going in, trying to cover 10.5 in Neyland. Is that too much when Carson Beck hasn't played a ton of great pass rush?
I don't know. It's hard to get. I see what Taylor's seeing. It's hard to get the last performance out of our head, right? It's hard to get that where
Dustin.
they just beat them up on, right? So very difficult to get that out of my head.
So what are you voting it in or out?
Ooh. I'll throw it to you. I'll be switching
I
here.
feel like I've shut down too many of Taylor's bets this year, and after I was the one who sunk the parlay, not really me, more like those idiots from Washington who found 1,000 ways on the covers. Not me. It's actually not my fault. It was a great bet.
Did it win?
No, but I mean, it should have.
Look, I think we
should have won about 17 different times.
I think we have really just spat on some of Taylor's pontoon parlays.
And I don't hate this one.
So I think we should let it ride.
I think we should let it ride as well. All right. And then, I'm trying to see. Let me just do a quick cursory glance. I was going to go Memphis +8, but, I mean, I don't know. I love betting Iowa. It's like my favorite thing to do in the world, and they consistently win. The under always hits. So I don't think I have a problem. Let me see if I get but if I got more than 8 now on Memphis, I just gotta find the game here. If I got more than 8 on Memphis, I might be tempted to roll that. What time do they play? I can never find it here on the DraftKings app. Oh, here it is. Ooh, it's 8.5 now against SMU at home. No,
bro. We can't be betting. We can't be betting American teams right now, bro.
No. You're right. All right. Pontoon parlay set, guys. Iowa -3 at home, playing host to Burt and in the Illini. UNC +7.5 at Clemson. It's gonna be a good game. Louisville money line at Miami, and Georgia at Tennessee -10.5. Granted, Georgia did beat the hell up out of Tennessee last year, right?
Yes, they did.
So
yes, they did.
That
was a better Tennessee team.
I was gonna say, if you could do that at Hendon Hooker, you should be able to do that here. All right, there it is. Pontoon set once again. The drinks are flowing. We're getting ready to roll right on. Shout out to our guys at DraftKings. Again, promo code Baton Rouge if you're going to sign up today. When we get back, let's do a little extended Ask the Bench as we wrap up our morning show. But still, the day just starting when it comes to everything going on. Tackling Hunter at Rouses today. Keep it locked, OTB.
OTB. OT.
Who is Mark? This guy on Kelly and Mark.
That's her husband.
I knew Regis and Kelly. When did Mark get up in there?
Yeah, that's Kelly's husband. It went to Ryan Seacrest, but I think he got tired of flying across country every day, basically.
Oh, okay.
And so now it's her husband, Mark.
Okay, Mario's still seeing Louisville +1. I'm still seeing that you should go to All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, and maybe one day you can end up like me and not in one but two murdered out minivans. Go to All-Star today, the best prices, the best people, new Toyota certified used vehicles. It's all there for you at All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.
Yeah, like I told you, murdered out many. That's how I found exactly where I needed to be this morning, and you can have that type of vehicle. Go build that Toyota today. Do it on the website. It's right there. Click on new, build a Toyota. You can add, take away, whatever it is. It is your vehicle of your dreams. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
His name was Cain. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review
of the Prep Football Playoffs, and we get started Friday night at 6 with Louisiana Prep Preview presented by Brock. Catholic High and John Ehret kick off at 7, and that's immediately followed by Louisiana Prep Scoreboard presented by Lake Urgent Care. On YouTube, Your View and 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Wow.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back. OTB. It's time for a little Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cold Curse Light, Busy Hard Seltzer, and Blue Moon Light Sky Citrus Wheat. Also, remember to go to Patient Plus Urgent Care. You need to get in, get better this afternoon. Patient Plus Urgent Care, patientplusuc.com, where you will see the difference over there at Patient Plus. They're going to get ready. As for the Patient Plus membership, while you're in there, it's a flat fee per month, or you buy a year, you get 10% off, and you go twice, you already coming out ahead. And hey, last time, guys, get out here to Rouses today, tackling hunger with the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. You can buy $5 donation bags, $10 donation bags. You don't do anything. You just pay for them. They take care of the rest. They're already bagged up. They send it off. It's for an incredible cause, y'all. So support those in need. Feel good about yourself. Give back this holiday season. And remember, Gumbo's out here. The cheerleaders are out here. Randall Gay's out here. It's all here for you at Rouse's off of Burbank and Lee. All right, ask the bench. Will Joe Burrow ever play again?
Yes.
Yeah.
He sprained his wrist, I know.
You know
We
what
hadn't talked
time it
about
is,
but-
dude. You know what time it is. A.J. McCarron season. That's right. Forget about Jake Browning. A.J. McCarron also up there in Cincy. Ask the bench. My friend Jonathan is coming to Thanksgiving. He hates pecan pie, and now he's claiming he's allergic. I think he's being selfish and trying to ruin it for the rest of us. How can I call him out? Oof. So if he's saying he's allergic, that means no pumpkin pie for anybody. Or excuse me, no pecan pie for anybody. I mean, that sucks, dog. Jonathan may have to not come. I don't know, man. That's I mean, a scoop of ice cream on a delicious warm piece of pecan pie is the best way to close out a gluttonous Thanksgiving meal. Ask the bench. Why was AJ not dressed out for the game? Because Jake Browning was the game day backup. I actually don't know if AJ's in front of Jake Browning. But he'll be dressed out now. Jake, do you think the Bengals get in trouble? There's some whispers because they didn't have Joe Burrow on the injury report, and yet I think he showed up at the game with something on his wrist. How much trouble does that get you?
Yeah,
in?
so if he's not on the injury report, and obviously they put a picture out there and they deleted it, and so obviously they know how much trouble you can get into. I mean, we talking fine, probably. I don't think anything past that. Like, I don't pretend to know the nitty-gritty of the injury report situation for the NFL, but honestly, if he practiced and it was something he just had on, like, to maybe stabilize it, like, do you have to put him on the injury report if he's practicing and if he feels like he was ready to go? I mean, I know you do, but I'm just saying, like, how much trouble are you really going to get? He played in the game. He started the game. Like, if Joe didn't play in the game and they showed that and they did put him on the injury report, I can understand that situation, but he did play the game. He just got hurt within the game.
Yeah, it's true. Ask the bench, will the LSU women's team crumble like a house of cards after getting the full hype of the offseason ego trip they've been on? Bruh, you don't doubt great coaches, okay? You think Coach Mulkey ain't been through this before? Nah, fam, absolutely not. Ask the bench. T-Bob, when you're in the wild and you unexpectedly come up on someone, do they respond by exclaiming, "Hey bear," while clapping their hands? Yeah, like every time, and I never understood why until now. Ask the bench, white gravy or brown gravy?
Both. Depends on what I'm eating.
White gravy for a delicious breakfast, sausage gravy and biscuits,
Yeah,
obviously.
like Whataburger's right by us right now, like that white gravy.
Oh, what do they put it on? I've never had
when you get the
Whataburger
chicken
white gravy.
strips.
Oh.
They put a white gravy in there. Bob.
Oh, I never knew that,
Well,
dude. Oh, okay. And then brown gravy for my Thanksgiving, though,
Yep.
obviously.
Yep.
Should DraftKings carry lines for Senate fights? I'm sure you're referencing something that happened in politics that I'm unaware of.
You didn't see that?
No, what happened?
Yeah, there's a senator, I believe from Oklahoma, and I mean they were in the deal, and they started going back and forth, and he's basically like, "Well, get up then, get up right now," and he stands up.
Hell yeah. Ask the bench, best way to get your kids to eat anything other than mac and cheese and Chef Boyardee ravioli? Well, it's tough once you fall into the hole. My second one's getting a little pickier. It was the old man just on a commercial. Yeah.
Cajun Cannon, just sorry.
My second one is getting a little pickier, but I find ways to sneak it in. Like, I mean, granted, she does like broccoli. That's kind of a win I've got with both kids. But, like, I make a delicious broccoli mashed potatoes where there's a ton of ground up broccoli and that stuff, but it still tastes great. They can't tell. So I try to sneak some stuff in on the edges like that.
I don't know how Memphis is like as athletic as he is because he only eats chicken nuggets and fries like willingly. Like everything else is a fight.
Yeah.
It is just a absolute
I think
battle.
you just got to keep fighting, I guess.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
do.
It's tough, dude.
For sure.
Just don't give up.
Yeah,
Just don't give up. I hashtag asked the bench, does LSU play Jayden Daniels the whole time to pad Heisman stats? No. You don't put him in undue risk.
You probably get to a certain point of, okay, I think he's done enough tonight.
Ask T-Bob, would you rather let Miss T-Bob or Miss Moscona peg you for a lifetime of LSU championships? Well, obviously my wife. Yeah, I'm not getting pegged by anybody unless I have like a real deep connection with them and a level of trust. Ask the bench, should I drink out at the tailgate tomorrow? Duh.
Is Pittsburgh the Steel City?
Yeah,
It is.
like somebody said on Twitter, never drink with your coworkers, like or never get drunk at a holiday party. I'm like, what? It's the only way to know whether you like your coworkers or not, or to get close to them. You should absolutely drink at your holiday parties.
OTB, OT.
Go Tigers! We'll see you on Monday. Go to, I believe it is Aggitemp Baton Rouge, AggiTempBR.com. Your AC heat and electrical needs taken care of. Get that service to the highest degree. And as you know, that's not just lip service. Aggitemp's going to get you right. The customer service really is a difference. Like, I know it's easy to and take it for granted, but go look at the online reviews, y'all. And of course, the work is quality, right? Life's bond insured, great price, all that. But the lengths and extents to which they go to make it easy on you from a timing standpoint, it's just unparalleled, and it's going to blow you away forever. Aggitemp Baton Rouge, AggiTempBR.com.
Schedule that appointment today, AggiTempBR.com. They're going to send your profile, exactly who is coming into your home. It is a place that you can trust from every single angle, AggiTempBR.com.
At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, you can lock in the low rate of 3.99% on a Toyota Highlander. That's right, 3.99%. Lock in your low rate while you still can. At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away.